My name is Miranda Namias, and I do something that I like to call systematic marketing, which is all about taking complex marketing strategies and breaking them down into easy to follow steps that anybody can add into their business. But today I'm going to talk about something a little different: college. I actually get asked about college a lot, especially from like family, friends, and younger entrepreneurs or college students or high school students who are still figuring out exactly what they want to do with their lives. So I thought I'd record a video about my experience with college and my recommendation for younger people who are trying to decide if college is the right choice for them. Um, I'm not an expert at this, so you might want to talk to like a counselor or career guidance person about this. This is just my personal experience and my personal opinion based on what I went through. And also, it's been 10 years since I've graduated from high school, so things may be a little bit different now. And also, I went to a private Catholic school, so that may have been a factor into like what I experienced as well. But back when I was in high school, there really wasn't ever like a discussion of whether I was going to go to college or not. The only question was like, where are you going to college? Like, people will never like, hey, are you going to college? They were like, which colleges are you applying to? So it really wasn't until years later that I even realized that college was actually optional and not something that everybody just did no matter what. And I think every single person, or almost every person, like I'm going to say 99 or 100% of people from my graduating class went to college. So not going to college really just wasn't an option. But I really struggled with the decision of where to go and what to major in because I had zero clue what the heck I wanted to do with my life. I actually talked about this in a previous video, and if I can remember which one, I will link it in the description. But I spent my whole life singing and doing musical theater. I was really, really into singing. And I was dead set on going to college to study voice and maybe become like a music teacher or like a wedding singer or something. I don't know. I wasn't really sure like what I wanted to do, but I knew it was voice. Like I was obsessed with singing. Um, but my parents would not let me go to my dream college, which was Berklee School of Music in Boston, and they would not let me major in music at a different school. So they just didn't think it was like a viable career option. And so I was forced to choose something else, or they were not going to pay for my college tuition. This made it really hard on me because I'd spent my whole entire life, like from when I was a tiny, tiny kid, like I started singing when I was like 3 years old, and I was super laser focused on that my whole life and dreamed of going to Berklee my whole life. Um, so I had spent my whole life like focused on this thing, like I'm going to college for voice. And then at the last minute, I want to say like maybe junior or even senior year, I was told by my parents that I could not pursue that anymore, like professionally. So I had to switch gears and pick a totally different major life path, and I had like no idea what I wanted to do. I actually ended up switching my major 7 times over the 3.5 years I spent in college. In the end, I ended up just picking English. I have always really enjoyed reading, and English was always my favorite class. It also seemed like a good foundation to have. Like, English, you can go into like a lot of different careers. Like, you can become like a lawyer, or you could become like an English teacher. So there was there were options. And at the time, I already had a lot of English credits because I wasn't really sure what I was doing, so I was just taking English classes because I liked English class. So I was able to graduate early. I graduated in 3.5 years. And at the time during college, like from like my sophomore year to my senior year in college and a little bit after, that was when I was struggling the most with my disability. If you go to my Facebook page, I have a whole video about my disability and everything. So during college was when I was in a wheelchair, and I had a really tough time physically going to class, and like having the mentally I was there, but like physically everything was really exhausting. I was in a lot of pain. It was really hard to like get to class, get to the buildings. And at a certain point I was really just over it. Like I just wanted to be done with school because I physically just couldn't do it anymore. And at that point it was in a dark place. I had no idea what my career prospects were going to be. At the time, I had previously been working at CVS, but I had to quit my job because I could no longer do it. And I realized that any type of like traditional 9 to 5 job, even a desk job, would not work for me because of my disability, because even the like commute and just like sitting at the desk all day was physically not possible for me. So I knew I had to figure something else out. In the meantime, I ended up working for my dad. He allowed me to work from home a lot of the time. I was like in the office 2 days a week, at home 3 days a week. So that was actually a blessing, like that I was able to have that as sort of a backup plan while I was trying to figure what the heck I was doing out. And so after a few years working for my dad, I discovered the world of online business, and now here I am. But going back to college, throughout this whole process, I definitely reconsidered multiple times if college had been the right choice for me. And looking back, I do not think that it was the right choice for me. I definitely had some good experiences while I was there. I mean, I met my husband, so that alone makes it totally worth it. But to be honest, it really ended up being not a whole lot more than just like a huge waste of time and money. And so if I could do it all over again from the beginning, I definitely would have done it differently. I think possibly I would have maybe started off at a community college so I could figure out what the heck I wanted to do with my life, take some classes, figure out what I wanted to major in, and then maybe switch to a full-blown 4-year school and the tuition that comes with it. Or maybe like I could have gone to a trade school, something like becoming a chef or doing something with beauty. But unfortunately, neither of those options were given to me at the time. Like I didn't even realize that was a thing. So like I do think that I did the best I could in the situation that I was in, and I made the best of a bad situation, and luckily coming out the other side I ended up okay. But if anybody is struggling with this right now, or knows somebody who's struggling with this right now, my best advice is really just to look at all of your options. There are so many different things that a person could do with their life after high school, and going to a traditional college or university, 4 years, huge tuition, it is the right choice for some people, but it is not the right choice for some people as well. Like it's not the best fit for everybody. And I feel like that's true for many, many things, and that's not something that I figured out until later on, that like I did not have to be a sheep or like do what everybody else told me to do or what everybody else was doing. So I do think that this whole thing was a big learning experience. I definitely did learn a few things while I was there. The education probably has helped me in some ways, like become maybe a better speaker or a better writer. But mostly it was a learning experience in that like I don't have to do or listen to what other people are telling me to do. Listening to your gut is really important as just like a human. And you don't have to let people steamroll you into making decisions that don't feel right to you. So in the end, I do think it all turned out okay. Like I absolutely love where I ended up. I love that I was able to meet my husband. I loved some of my teachers. And obviously I love where I ended up now, where I am now, having my own business, and I have an amazing life, and I'm so happy that I ended up here. But it was kind of a long and curvy road to get here, and I think that it could have been easier, or I could have gotten here faster or in a different way, or done things in the meantime that were like would have been more beneficial for me or would have made more sense for me. So yeah, my best advice is your gut is super important. If it doesn't feel right, then it's not right. And college, it didn't feel right to me ever. And I just didn't realize that listening to my gut and being like, hey, maybe this isn't the right choice was like a thing that I could have done. But like I said, I do think I did the best I could in a bad situation. And if you guys have any questions about like career guidance or college or anything like that, like please comment and let me know. I'd love to hear also about your experiences with college. Like, what was your college experience like? Do you regret going to college? Did you feel like you had an option of whether to go to college or not? If you didn't go to college, do you like regret not going to college, or do you think it was the right choice for you? I would love to hear more from you about your whole like college experience and how that went for you.